The Middle Ages are a period of history that often sparks curiosity in people's minds. It was an era filled with knights, kings, and castles, but also disease, poverty, and death. Today, we're going to delve into an interesting question that might make you think twice before you step into a time machine. Do you have what it takes? Why would most modern man not survive in the Middle Ages? Let's start by looking at why this is a real problem for the average man today. It's true that we live in a time where information is readily available at our fingertips. You can learn almost anything through the internet, YouTube, or books, and some people do use this to their advantage. However, there's a huge difference between knowing about something and actually being able to do it. For example, you can watch videos about fixing a car, but can you actually fix a car? This is called practical knowledge, and it's a skill set that many modern men lack because they've never had the need or opportunity to develop it. We live in a time where we rely on machines and technology to do most of the work for us. A large portion of the population doesn't engage in any manual labor or learn basic survival skills. So if you suddenly find yourself transported back to the Middle Ages with no preparation, your theoretical knowledge of medieval life will be practically useless. Life in the Middle Ages was tough and unforgiving. The average person today is soft and has never experienced genuine hardship. If you are one of the few who does, you already have a leg up on everyone else. Your body and mind will be much better suited to handle the rigors of medieval life. But let's be honest, that's only half the battle. The Middle Ages were a world away from our modern world in terms of living conditions, hygiene, and even the air that people breathed. Let's take a look at your physical fitness first. Are you strong enough? Are you fast enough? Could you run from danger? Could you lift heavy things? How well could you fight? How well could you hunt? How long could you go without food and water? Could you build a shelter? Could you tend to the fields? Did you know how to plant crops? Can you forage for food? Can you tell which plants are safe to eat and which ones will kill you? When was the last time you went for a whole day without showering? The list goes on. And unfortunately, the reality is that most people couldn't answer yes to any of these questions. Now imagine trying to live out the rest of your life, which hopefully is pretty long. With these skills, you would quickly become a liability to anyone around you. And to put it bluntly, you probably would die within a year or two. Now you might say, what about the knowledge I have in my head? Surely that can help me, right? Well, that depends on what you remember. The sad truth is that most of the things you know won't be of much use in the Middle Ages. You see, we live in a time of specialization. People tend to focus on one particular area of interest and acquire in-depth knowledge in that field. That's great for making advancements in science, technology, and culture. But it makes you extremely vulnerable to changes in the world around you. For example, you may have a PhD in astrophysics. But how useful is that when you can't even light a fire? A person with theoretical knowledge of physics would be as lost as someone with no knowledge at all. This is not meant to belittle any profession, but it's important to understand the value of practical knowledge. Survival skills are a type of practical knowledge that have been developed over thousands of years of human history. They are the result of trial and error, and they have allowed humans to adapt to a wide range of environments and challenges. These skills include things like finding and preparing food, building shelter, providing first aid, and protecting oneself from harm. One of the reasons why so many people lack survival skills is the belief that they will never need them. We live in a modern world where we have access to all kinds of conveniences that allow us to live comfortably without having to rely on our survival instincts. For example, we can go to the grocery store to buy food instead of hunting or foraging for it ourselves. We can stay in our homes instead of building shelter. And we can call 911 if we need help in an emergency instead of relying on our own first aid skills. Another reason is that many people live in urban areas and are removed from nature. This makes it even less likely that they will ever need to use their survival skills. Additionally, schools often do not teach survival skills. So many people do not learn them from a young age. Finally, our modern lifestyles are often too comfortable. Many people live in homes with all the amenities and do not have to worry about things like food shortages or extreme weather. This makes it even more likely that they will never need to use their survival skills. So let's ask this question another way. What kind of person would be able to survive in the Middle Ages? To begin with, you need someone who is physically fit and mentally sharp. Someone who is in good physical condition will be able to work long and hard hours, carry heavy loads, fight when necessary, and endure the hardships of medieval life. Physically weak individuals would quickly become exhausted and overwhelmed. Mentally sharp individuals would be able to think quickly and make good decisions under pressure. They would also be able to learn new skills quickly and adapt to new situations. Emotionally resilient people would be able to cope with the stress and uncertainty of medieval life. They would also be able to recover quickly from setbacks and keep going even when things looked bleak. In addition to these basic qualities, there are a number of specific skills that would be useful in the Middle Ages. For example, knowledge of agriculture would be essential for growing food and taking care of livestock. Building skills would be useful for constructing houses and other structures. Medical knowledge would be helpful for treating injuries and illnesses, and combat skills would be useful for defending oneself and one's community. Most importantly, however, is a willingness to learn. Medieval people were constantly learning new things in order to survive. They had to learn how to do new tasks, how to solve new problems, and how to adapt to new situations. Those who were unwilling to learn were quickly left behind. So what do you think? Do you have what it takes to survive in the Middle Ages? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave us a thumbs up and subscribe for more historical tales. We have done a lot of videos on ancient Rome and medieval Europe. There are several others just like this one, so please take a look at them. Thanks for watching.